In the last video, you guys saw me get these 2 new posts installed here on the entrance to the working corral. And today, I want to try to get as much of the horizontal pipe and the cross braces and basically just all the welding. I want to try to get as much of the welding done as I can. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get finished, but we'll see how far I can get. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. I don't need this anymore. This 2 7/8 oil pipe that I've used for my posts here is really rusty, and it's taken a lot of cleanup work to get this metal down to a point where I want to weld it. This is pretty typical of oil pipe, and it's probably one of my least favorite things about it is all the cleanup that's involved to get, you know, to where you're not going to have a contaminated weld. But it is cheaper, so, you know, that's why we do it. Inside to inside looks like 115 7/8. I like to take that width measurement at the bottom of the post, so that way if the post is like leaning a little bit one way or the other, then you're not constantly fighting a changing measurement as you go up. So what I'll do is take the measurement at the bottom and then weld the top rail in first, so then it will basically guarantee that your top measurement and your bottom measurement are the same. Therefore, all your middle pipes will be the same, so you don't have to measure each one individually. You can just get a measurement that you know is good and cut them all at once. I keep trying to keep going on this, and I'm just coming to the realization that it's just really too windy to be doing this today. Using the plasma cutter in the wind is fine, you can do it. Welding in the wind is not fun. And then the big concern that I'm having is I'm right next to the hay barn, and the wind is kind of blowing towards it. So we might have to shift gears and figure out something else to do today. I was really wanting to get this done, but you know, everything is just kind of stacking up to where this isn't the thing to do today. I think the wind right now is about 15 miles an hour, which doesn't sound like a ton, but every once in a while you get a gust. I'll find something else to do, and then hopefully the wind will die down a little bit, maybe later this afternoon, and we can at least get some of this done. I kind of felt like I wasn't going to finish this today anyway, but I would have at least liked to get a little bit done. Well, maybe that's just not in the cards. I have a very difficult time when I set out in the morning knowing what I'm gonna do and then having to shift gears and do something different. It's hard for me to reset my brain when I've already got my mind made up. We do still have this matter to attend to. The other day I dug a hole right here next to this post because maybe you'll be able to see. Yeah, it's pretty loose, and when the ground is wet, it's even worse. So my idea is to stick a good post right next to it, fasten them together somehow so that when we're loading cattle, if they turn around and bump this with their hip, they don't break it off, which I've seen them almost do a couple of times. And while we're in sort of this mode of making little repairs around this corral that need to be done, there's a couple more over here that come to mind. The first one being on this bunk feeder over here. I've a couple times had issues with especially calves jumping through these holes when I gather everybody up, and I've had cows try to do it. They can't fit, but it still kind of disrupts the flow when they can get their head through here and mess around with stuff. My plan is to take this old cattle panel that we took off of the old fence over there and cut it to size so that I can use hose clamps and just fasten it up against this thing, so that when I'm working cows I can block this off. But if I actually do want to feed somebody here, it's really easy to just take that panel down and do it. The other thing is on the alleyway here at the end, we've got some broken boards and just some little things here and there that need attention. I think this post that pulled out the other day will be perfect over there. Because the ground over here is so dry, I'm gonna water this post a little bit, and that'll help all of that dirt that I'm trying to pack around it settle. That's just kind of a way to speed up the packing process and get this thing to where it's strong. Well, for now, we'll check this off the list. To really be on the safe side, I should have several more hose clamps holding this thing up, but honestly, just the way it's sitting right now, I mean, they're not going to be able to push a head through it. In fact, just the visual effect of it is probably enough to accomplish what I need it to do. I don't have any more hose clamps with me at the moment, but next time I'm in town, I'll grab some and we'll get this attached properly. Haven't seen them for a while. Down here on the end of the loading alley, you guessed it, we've got a rotten post here. You can probably see that I can move this a little bit. In years past, I had a little triangular brace here to hold this up, and that's why there's this little piece of 2x6 and 2x4 on the side. But I ended up taking that off because when I want to pull in here to set a round bale down, that brace was in the way. So I'm thinking, as much as I don't want to dig this hole by hand, really the best way that I can temporarily fix this and make sure that we get through another year with it is to dig a hole right next to it and drop a post in the ground just like we did over here. My wife and I the other day were just having a conversation about where do wasps go in the wintertime, and I told her that in the past I have found them sort of hibernating in between like a board and a post, or roofing tin and a board. You know, they get in between things and sort of huddle together, and that's how I guess they stay warm. Well, guess what's hiding behind that 2x6? There's a ton of wasps back in there. And I was thinking, you know, on a nice cool day, I wouldn't have to be dealing with them, but I guess I am. Still got it. That one's better. That looks better. Test. Much better. Over here on the side, if you've been paying attention over the last couple of years, there's this 2x4 that is no longer attached. In fact, there's nothing left of it to attach. So that's got to come off. I think a 2x6 would be a better board to put in its place. What's tough about these boards is that to really fix them properly, you need to unattach the tin so you can get access to what you need to get access to fix them. So I haven't done that in many years, as you can see. I think today's the day. My goodness. That was easy. Well, I can't help but notice how rotten that is. May as well just get it, I guess. Come on. Jump. Surprisingly, the boards that are on here are actually pretty solid, so I don't think I'm gonna have to replace too many of these, but to do this one the right way, I've still got to pull this tin back a little bit, which I never look forward to doing. I guess it's easy when the nails just rip through the tin. Well, it appears we've uncovered another wasp hideout, hibernation zone. I don't know what to call it, but I can't actually see where they're at, but I kind of see where they're coming out of. So I guess the only answer is to just soak that down best I can. Well, it's the little things. This is looking pretty good over here now, a lot better than it's looked in a while. And now the thing that glares at me is this broken cross piece here. Now I was thinking about, you know, I could just take some 2x6s, go across there with screws, basically do the same thing that was done before. I don't really love that idea because you're putting all the load on these little tiny screws. And I've been thinking about this, and I think I've got a better idea, a stronger way to do this, and I want to try it. So I'll just kind of let you watch as I make it. It might be difficult to tell, but this post here is leaning out a little bit, and I would like to try to straighten it up before I put the new cross brace up there. So there's a couple ways that I can do this, and I'm not really sure what the best way is. I just kind of want to put a little bit of tension on it because you can see it's a little bit loose. So if I can just put a little bit of pressure on it to get it as straight as I can, knowing that it's not going to be perfect, but I want to get it as straight as I can, and then I can start taking my measurements for the cross brace. There's concrete there. This is news. It seems to be holding, and no, the post is not straight, but I'm worried if I push any harder on it, I'm gonna hear that cracking sound that I don't want to hear. So this is gonna be good enough. This is all, you know, I just feel like a broken record. This is all getting replaced soon. The next issue that I'm seeing here is that these posts are not the same height. This one on the left here is a little bit taller. So I need to flatten this one off because it's not a clean cut. And then we'll try to figure out about where the correct height for the other side will be. pretty solid for wood. Well, even though I really didn't accomplish anything that I set out to do this morning, still got a lot done today. A lot of things that needed to happen, so I'm happy with that. These posts will just have to wait for another day. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.